Okay, so as a society, we are into the trap of groupthink, accepting the norms that have almost become ingrained within us. Over the past few weeks, I've been challenging some of these ideas, and through my solution, encouraging others to do the same. Hi, I'm Arthur. I think I've seen some of you earlier. I don't know, I can't see names now, but anyway, I will be presenting my solution systematic, shifting our value system. A few weeks ago, well, a few months ago now, started with the problem statement, which is as follows: lack of motivation during childhood from families and communities leads to a continuation of the generational cycle of poverty. So that's kind of where my research started, what I wanted to kind of focus on, elaborate on. So I did a bit more digging and found some quite startling statistics. One of which is that almost 1 in 4 people in Wales live in poverty. I know we're not all Welsh here, but that's 700,000 of my fellow citizens. Okay, so when I wanted to kind of dig deeper into this problem, I started off with using the iceberg model. So kind of got events, patterns, structures, and mental models. You can see kind of the breakdown there, but some kind of interesting points that I really found were within structures. We've got this kind of perceived importance of status and classism. And then that kind of relates with one of the mental models that many kind of from low income communities are disillusioned with the systems. They feel as though they are affected by the systems in place, but as they can't have an impact on them, they can't affect them. It's kind of like this entrapping cycle, really, where they don't feel as though there is any kind of escape or a way out. So I then did a root cause analysis, focusing on low self-esteem in particular, limited self-worth and aspirations for future. I found that this was caused by an inability to afford certain luxuries, items, or opportunities that others have. Now, the relationship between those 2 points is that because Western society tends to value material goods and riches above happiness, community, and positivity. And that's when these mental health implications start to come into play. So, in order to kind of combat this problem, I wanted to kind of go really from the bottom up. So it's kind of thinking about changing people's thinking. So it's through a community program. I wanted it to be relevant to all communities and demographics, not just those directly affected. Because if we want to make a real impactful change, we need everyone to be on board. We need enthusiasm from all different parties kind of making that impact and kind of playing their part. It takes place over 3 months with sessions happening on alternating weeks and would be facilitated by an individual or a community group. Upon signing up, they would receive a 9-page welcome pack, including a video with yours truly introducing it, as well as 6 2-hour session plans with the resources and the breakdowns in there as well. So hopefully anyone could just pick it up and deliver these sessions. So each week we focus on a different topic. So we start off with an introduction to the value system. What is it? What does this mean? Why is it significant? How did it form? Sort of creating that general understanding. From there, we move on to looking at ideas of success and the fact that success can be subjective and it can kind of differ depending on person, location, situation. Session 3 looks at what is a hierarchy, the different contexts in which hierarchies come into play. From there, we move on to session 4, which is thinking, can hierarchies actually be effective? And if so, how can we sort of do this and creating some steps to making effective hierarchies? Session 5 is all about connectivity between those in the room, those in the community, and then kind of even on that global scale as well, thinking about the importance of connectivity and how that relates to the topic of the value system. The final session, session 6, is all about a celebration, looking at kind of what they've achieved, ideas that they've questioned over the past few weeks, but then also thinking about moving forward. Are there any other ideas that they want to explore? Or how can they kind of spread this message and encourage others to kind of stop just accepting these societal norms and start kind of, researching and finding their own answers to some of these questions? My journey through the solution started with understanding the problem, thinking what it is, looking at the stats and doing the research. From there, I had to decide what type of solution I wanted to create. I really went back and forth with that a little bit before eventually settling on the community program idea. Next, I had to think about the deliverables, keeping timeframes in mind, and I know I always run over with things like this, so that was quite a crucial one for me. Then I used Session Lab to actually kind of structure the sessions, think what I want in there, what different activities are we going to use, how are we going to make it interactive, kind of appropriate for various different learning styles. And then kind of the last thing I had to do was put it all together in the form of a welcome pack. So some of the skills that I've developed include instructional writing, because I wanted everyone to be able to look at it and be able to deliver the sessions. Also kind of recording that video and doing some public speaking there as well. And then mainly I think kind of the education, teaching and training side of it, which is sort of my basis. Within the knowledge, of course, we've got the ideas of the value system, understanding what it is. Kind of, in order to kind of say to others, question these ideas, I obviously had to do it myself, and I had to find some of my own answers. So with success, hierarchies, connectivity, all of those different ideas. Within dispositions, some that I've really felt I have developed during this include respect, inclusiveness, supportiveness, responsibility, of course, with kind of getting it done and the deliverables and everything like that, but also just a bit of lightheartedness, including kind of activities, games, having a bit of fun in there as well, I think is really important. So this is sort of my key takeaway, what has really inspired me throughout this process, and something that I'm going to really try and take with me and implement in some of my other work moving forward. So it's that the world is what we make it. We need to connect and collaborate if we want to create a more positive and equitable society for all. So yes, so that's something that I feel was really important to end on. So thank you so much for listening. Just kind of contact-wise, I've got Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all kind of professionally stuff. I also run a youth voice group called Future Youth Impact. You can kind of find our details there. And we've got a survey out at the moment. So if you've got the time to quickly scan the QR code and fill in our survey to be heard on all this youth voice, that would be fantastic. Yeah, thank you so much.